Ladies and gentlemen, I am Yuzril, the game is Star Trek Online. It is the Delta Rising Tribble Timewarp, and welcome to the 18th of September edition. And also welcome to the engine room of the USS Pathfinder, where we are having a few oddities, including crazy ensigns. The first one, however, is the background audio for the engine room. It is, gone. Completely. In fact, it's gone on the holodeck as well, so this is a long-standing problem. The warp core is not making its reassuring pulse, the hum of the impulse engines is missing, and the end result is that some rather disoriented crew are throwing themselves off the banisters. Fortunately, there's no fall damage in this game, so Starfleet Medical is apparently recommending that, psychological damage or otherwise, we keep the silencers in place merely to ensure that the crew use the most efficient way to get back down to the deck. Try not to be distracted by the crew throwing themselves off in the background of the video, because the main event today is the new upgrade system. Cryptic have introduced this as a way of upgrading Mark 12 through Mark 13 and ultimately to Mark 14, and the new shinies. Incidentally, the new rep gear, Delta Rising rep, Delta Alliance rep, I am told, or will be Mark 12 when you first get it and will have to be upgraded as well. So this is something most players will be engaging in to get top of the line gear, whether they like it or not. So how does it work? Well, we have a new and snazzy button on the inventory, Upgrade. This will open up the UI. You can also access the UI and preload an item by right-clicking on most items. For some reason, the new Thoron infused weapons can't be upgraded yet, along with a few other things, and we'll come across those as we work our way on, including, rather annoyingly, the Tricobalt Cluster Torpedo. I was really looking forward to be able to take that up to Mark 14 and get some real fun going, but sadly it is not to be. However, most weapons can be upgraded, so let's pick our Romulan Plasma Minigun. You'll see we also have the upgrade item, and that opens up the upgrade UI and it pops the item in for upgrades. You then require tech upgrade kits. These come in various qualities, each of which are more efficient than the last. You left click there, pick your tech upgrade, and then you plug it in. You'll require multiple kits to upgrade an item. Each upgrade kit adds a certain amount of technology points to the item, and when you have enough technology points saved on an item, you can hit the button and it will upgrade for you. So let's do this, to borrow a phrase. First thing, of course, is that we need to make our kits. So pop open the R&D system. We want to open up a project and select, in this case, the improved tech upgrade, beam technology. You'll notice that it gives quite a lot of XP for a 10-minute project, 6,100. This is, I suspect, going to be the new hyper-efficient way of leveling. A critical success will get you 3 kits rather than 1. And then if we just quickly short-circuit it and pay to finish. The basic tech upgrade unlocks at level 5, requires 2 white grade materials and gives you the green kit. There are also improved versions as well at level 15, the superior tech upgrades. These give you 12,800 points per. The experimental version gives you a doubled chance of a quality upgrade, but does require salvaged technology. I'm not sure where this is going to drop, is it? I suspect from the level 60 elite queues, in much the same way that the current very rare research materials are principally obtained from elite queues at level 50, but we shall see. Did one of the crew just jump backwards off the railing? It's getting weirder in here every single day. So, once you have built your kits, there are 4 kits in each research school, and you will find that they all require different materials. You then find yourself needing to make your upgrades. So in this case we will want to upgrade a beam array. Pop it in, select the upgrade, and as you can see, green upgrade kits are giving us 2,000 points a time for 700 dilithium. Blue kits give you 5,000 points a time for 950 dilithium, and the purple kits give you 12,800 for 1,075 dilithium. What will be immediately apparent to you is that the higher quality kits are infinitely more efficient. Well, not literally infinitely, but significantly. If I did my maths right when I was mucking around with this last time, green kits are 2.8 tech points per point dilithium, blues are 5.2 to 1 dilithium, purples are 11.9 tech points for every 1 point of dilithium. Here's the thing. Converting Mark 12 to Mark 14 at the moment requires 103,584 tech points. So, per item, green kits will burn 36,995 dilithium, blues 19,920, purples 8,705. And if that last number sounded a bit familiar, it is of course because a veteran player can average about 9,000 dilithium a day conversion if they're using the veteran dilithium refining, and the basic player can do 8,000 a day, so that gives you an idea of Cryptic's baseline with purple kits. Basically one item, 2 Mark 14 a day. Which kind of makes sense as a long-term upgrade project. Thing is, it's going to be a very long-term upgrade project because 4 away team members, each of which require body armor, shields, and a weapon. That's 12 items straight off. Captain requires 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 16. Kits, by the way, are not yet upgradable. Neither are modules. So potentially you're up to 21 items. And then if you take a cruiser, well, 21 items, 29 once you add in weapons, 33 with primary systems, and potentially 44 items. Have I just failed in adding up? No, I don't think so. Let's just run the numbers, shall we? 44 times by 36,995. Grand total 1,627,780 dilithium. Divide by 8,000 per day. You get a grand total of 204 days plus or minus change. Yeah, this could take a while. It's probably not a surprise that this is going to be Cryptic's major dilithium sink for a while, and they better not add anything else in, because, oh boy. So, it's a little better if you use purple kits, but of course purple kits require some fairly expensive materials, so expect people to start stockpiling big time. I must admit I will probably be among them. And yes, before you ask, yes, you can upgrade the tactical consoles, at least in theory. Although for some reason it didn't equip that just then. Certainly Sir Boulevard was claiming he managed to get some gold quality crit vulnerability consoles. I wonder if it was just specific to what he was trying. That's interesting. No, it did work. So Mark 13, just for giggles, 33.8 and 1.6 stop charges. 33.8, 37.5. Anyone else remember that little glitch we had with the consoles a few weeks back? Guess who was accidentally showing us what Mark 14 very rare was going to look like, and I imagine you could probably get it up to gold console if you were of a mind to try. I may have to get some tactical consoles and do that at some point. Something to do off camera when I have a moment later on. Anyhow, how does this system work? Well, let's try it, shall we? So, upgrade. Let's try one of the nanite disruptors, which doesn't seem to want to work. And in fact, they're not even in the option, so add that to the list of things that can't be upgraded. In addition, there's a bit of a problem. Here's a blast from the past, ladies and gentlemen. The Disruptor Beam Array Anti-Borg. These haven't been around for a long while, so we'll pop in the beam weapons tech upgrades, and fortunately it is 10 of these kits, so 9,500 dilithium to get it up to Mark 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you do occasionally get crits, by the way, 50% bonus. 6, 7, 8, and we didn't quite get that one crit we needed, so we're going to have to blow the 9th kit to get it done. It does carry the tech point overflow, which is kind of handy. So, Mark 11 ready to upgrade to Mark 12. Upgrades the item. And it's lost the Borg modifier. Yeah. And it's still purple quality, you just don't get anything else. Now that's obscure to be sure. I mean, how many other people are going to still have anti-Borg weapon arrays? I mean, they haven't been around ever since they did the RepQ revamp, so hey, there can't be many left. But it is still a bug. That is a deleted modifier. It's downgraded the weapon, and it hasn't given anything in return. We also didn't get a quality upgrade, which is kind of annoying. Anyhow, let's take it up again. Or not. Other bugs that have popped up. Transphasic or other tricobalt clusters can't be upgraded. Neither can various other items, the Borg assimilated module among them. Sometimes, of course, it just doesn't make sense to have an upgradable option. So, for example, the ablative generator or the plasmionic leech, they're already at gold quality and they're level independent. It makes no difference. The Nukara particle converter is an interesting case. It can be upgraded, however, it's worth noting that the upgrade does not affect its accuracy bonus, merely the other options. It is a flat 10% accuracy no matter what. It's also flat shield power, so you just get upgrades to power insulators and particle generators. Likewise, the proton particle stabilizer cannot be upgraded. And there are various others. There are a lot of loose edges in this system at present, even if the core functionality is very definitely there. Also, I note that it's not automatically loading some of these options, despite having them. Let's see. Can I get the gravimetric torpedo dragged and dropped? No. Okay, that's interesting. So gives me the option to open the upgrade item UI. Let's pull it into the inventory, see what happens. Oh, it'll do it from the inventory, but it won't do it from the armed and ship screen. That's a curious one. But as you can see, it's essentially a nice little increase in base damage, the equivalent of 2 damage modifiers. So, what do I think of the system so far? Well, it's nice to see the crafting getting a practical use for everybody. It's also nice to see that the Cryptic are addressing the time required to level it up by adding in these new projects. But oh my god, the dilithium cost! 204 days if you're stupid enough to use green kits. I mean, ha 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 ha. Thank you, Cryptic. Well, at least it's created a market for player trading in the purple kits, and that'll encourage R&D, queue running and general gameplay, as well as people to take a look at actually, hey, you know, interacting with other people. So in some respects, perhaps that's a good thing, but a good chunk of my brain is still rebelling at the notion of having to cough up quite that much dilithium merely to upgrade one ship's equipment. And that, by the way, is before you remember that some of us run multiple ships on a single character with multiple loadouts. So you can see here I've got Mako Mark 12, Omega Mark 11. Yes, I've been doing this for a while. Regeneratives, spare stuff that I just happen to have lying about. I mean, if I want to start upgrading all of that, it's going to get seriously expensive. It'll be interesting to know what Cryptic's design vision for this project was, whether they intended as a long-term project for players to upgrade to Mark 14 and were calibrating their difficulties off Mark 12 gear. Because if they're going to set up the elite queues as requiring Mark 14, or at least based around that assumption, and then make it a long, hard slog up from Mark 12, then that could very easily misfire. Also kind of good to see you can upgrade your warp core, so that's always handy. We've also got too many bugs, too many loose ends. Things like trans and tricobalt cluster torpedoes not being... They still need to fix that name, by the way. The real stinker, however, is the TR-116. So, what's odd about this weapon at the moment, boys and girls? Can you see what shouldn't be there? Yeah. TR-116B Mark 10. You can only get these in Mark 12, supposedly. So how have I got this? Well, there's a bit of a bug. The TR116B appears to have a slightly distorted base tech point value. Despite being a Mark 12 item, its base tech points are set somewhere around the bottom of Mark 10, so the moment you first try to upgrade it, it promptly downgrades the item to Mark 10 and you then have to slog back up. So Boulevard actually did this when he was making the Dinosaur Doom, and I don't dare think how many tech kits and upgrades and dilithium that cost him. I haven't asked, and well, we shall see. I hope he'll tell me one of these days. But that's expensive and it needs to be fixed. A lot of people have the 116 as a trophy weapon, for want of a better term, and having it shrunk down to Mark 10 is kind of a kick in the teeth. Another, and it's more a curio than anything, is the retrofit forward phaser array from the TOS Constitution. Now, normally this is a blue levelless item. It has the nice little infinity symbol on it. Unfortunately, I think I've blown both of mine on this character, so it's going to be a little hard to demonstrate. But the moment you plug it into the upgrade system, what you get is actually a Mark 10 green. It converts instantly. It's not actually a big deal, although I will note that the display damage of 4.2 DPS is in fact a bug. It fixes the moment you get the array into space. And the crit H is correct. It is a single crit chance upgrade, so it wasn't really a blue to start with, but it does seem a little bit jarring that it's dumping it straight down to Mark 10 when I was under the impression that the levelless items were in fact capping out at Mark 11, so that might be something for Cryptic to look at anyway. However, ladies and gentlemen, the upgrade system. My initial impression, no, that was a sideways jump from the Ensign, is that its basic intent is good, its basic functionality is sound. The green and the blue kits need to have their dilithium efficiency increased, probably to essentially 2 and 3 days to have items go from Mark 12 to Mark 14. That will still make it a fair old slog of dilithium to get an item upgraded if you don't want to or can't afford the purple kits, but a little less excessive than it currently stands. So if Cryptic can get the bugs fixed, most notably the TR116 and some of the looser edges on what can and can't be upgraded at present, and maybe cut the dilithium cost a bit, then it will be a good system in a good place to address Delta Rising. But, it depends on what Cryptic do. So, expect more on this in future, particularly once we get nearer launch and values start firming up. But, ladies and gentlemen, I have been Yusel. That has been the Tribble Timewarp, and until next time, farewell.